Welcome to another Facing Time conversation. My name is Jared Zuckerman, and today I have a husband and wife team who love everything arts and food. They have a Tony Award-winning Broadway production company, AF Creative Media, and share their obsession for food on social media at artsandfood_NYC on Instagram. They take pride on being home cooks and never taking themselves too seriously. They say food and cooking offers them a way to have some out-of-office time together as spouses, coworkers, and best friends. Aww. They even named their cats Kichka and Gravy after Jewish delicacies. They hope that sharing a glimpse into their fun-filled arts and food life, they could bring some joy into the lives of others. Please welcome the crazy duet, Dayna and Brian Lee. Welcome, guys.
Whoa. My hair normally doesn't look like this. This is my resistance against getting a haircut.
Yeah, that is like some bush right there.
Yeah, I know, it's a lot. I want to see like how big it can go.
He's channeling his inner Seth Rogen.
There you go. There you go.
All right.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
I love you guys. I wanted to have you on because every time I watch you on social media, you're always just positive and energetic and crazy.
Yeah, that's very descriptive.
That's us.
But it makes you unique because you're not just another food account. You're not just another, oh, look at me, I think I'm special and everybody's interested account. You're truly just having fun and want to share the fun that you have. And I'm always smiling when I watch you guys. So
well, we feel the same way about you.
Which I haven't posted in like a month, so.
Yeah, but you know what?
Last month you made me really happy. Last month I was really happy.
In the past 30 days,
For the past 30 days, it's been dark, it's been cold, and I've been like, where's Jared? I don't know. I've been like shaking in my closet. It's been really tough.
And then you just like stop shaving.
Then I say,
you're like,
this is your fault. This is your fault.
Together now.
Thank you. Yeah, we're together now.
You guys are together 24/7. You even said out of office time.
Yeah.
You know, to give yourself out of office time, home cooking is a way for you to kind of just be spouses, best friends, and not working. But you're together 24/7. How do you not pull each other's hair out when you're working together, but then you're also spending time together when you're not working?
That's a great question. Honestly, it's a question we get
all the time.
All the time.
We've been together for 7 years.
We've been together for 7 years. Yeah. We were best friends for 2 years before we started dating. So we've been in each other's lives for a really long time. It's funny because I think the fact that we were best friends before we got together really set the playing field for our relationship. But I'll be honest with you, like finding that work-life balance was like was tricky because when you end up working together, you have to sort of set a time being like, we're not talking about
like
work.
How do you go on date night and not talk about work?
Right, because it's so, and like we're so passionate
and then
about
what is a date night and not a business meeting? So it's all
right. So I think it's being really cognizant of sort of separating the two and making time for just like, and honestly, that is one of the really positive things that have come out of the COVID and quarantine is like we've had time to just sort of like cook together and it just be really fun and do like normal couple things and not feel like we're running around with, you know, our heads cut off, but we never get sick of each other.
That's true. We've actually never gotten sick of each other. Like Dayna went out, since we got back to New York, she's gone out like for a picnic by herself with a friend for like an hour. And I texted her being like, I miss you. I haven't been away from you for an hour.
And it's true. Like, we like really miss each other.
It's like high level codependency. Yeah. It's like really good functioning codependency.
Yes, but we're aware of it.
We're aware. Like it's, And you know, we're lucky enough that we sort of built our life around spending 24 hours a day together. So
well, I need to find me a best friend.
Yeah. Yes, you will.
It's the key. You will.
You will, for sure.
Can you debunk at least like one myth of social media influenters?
Well, I think we'd have different answers.
Yeah, you go first.
Do you want a combined answer? Or?
What's a
no? Just.
I think that the most obvious myth, in my opinion, is that being an influencer, it has really exciting opportunities and moments, but it's not necessarily the most glamorous job. You know, and I think people look at people on social media and they think they're living this like picturesque, perfect life. And the reality is you're only living that life because of your followers and because of the connection you have with your community and the relationships you're fostering with brands. And all of that is relationship based and therefore can be really exciting, but also really unknown.
And also really stressful because it can fall apart in a second.
Yes.
And that's the thing, I think building the loyalty with your followers is so imperative. And so I'm always fascinated by, how do I say this correctly? I'm always fascinated when I see someone online, then I meet them in person and they're different people. There's like zero, there's no connection. No, there's no connection, but it's like, you meet you and it's like, you're similar,
You're you.
But I've met people and it's like, I have what I feel is an intimate relationship with you on my phone, and then I meet you in person and it's like, I don't understand. And I think that's really fascinating, because I think that's where the negativity of what an influencer is, because essentially you're acting on camera, you're putting the camera somewhere where it looks good, and if you just pan to the left, life isn't as great as it seems. And I think for us, what we've always said is like, we're this kooky normally. Like, we are who we are because...
That's why I love you guys.
I mean, but I don't know how to be any different, right? Like, this is our shtick. It's been our shtick since we met in college, and it's been great that we have people who follow us and have given us so much, but it's also, we are who we are. And I think the biggest compliment we've ever received when we met someone at a Whole Foods was like, wow, you guys are just like, so they came up to us and was like, I follow you. And it's like, you're just as you appear. I was like, I'd like to think I'm a little thinner online, but like, do you know what I mean? But like, aside from that, it's like, that's a real compliment. Like, that's what we strive for.
Yeah.
I love that, because, I mean, the biggest thing I get is I get a lot of DMs, or every once in a while when someone sees me walking like down the street, they'll say, yo, you're that guy. Hey, thank you for being real.
Yeah.
I think a lot of things happen when people post what they think others want to see, and it becomes disingenuine, and it's not real. And they're using Facetune and you're using all this stuff. For me, it was always like, I don't know why. And we all know that there's really a small percentage of followers that are truly, truly engaged, even though there are probably people who forgot they're even following us, you know? But the thing is like, why not, you know, everybody has influence. So I don't like calling myself an influencer.
Yeah, I think being it, and it makes me, on the flip side, it makes me sad that influencer has like a bad association with it, because I think a lot of influencers are doing an amazing job.
I agree.
Highlighting brands, especially now. You think to yourself, like, so many companies and brands are utilizing influencer marketing as we're all sitting at home. Like, that's how they're getting their message out to potential customers. And it does take work to create that content. And I feel like, you know, if you're not really in the space, it's kind of hard to understand like what goes into, you need to learn how to use a camera. You need how, you know, you have to edit your photos, learn Photoshop or Lightroom or whatever you use, video editing software. Like there is a skill to it that I think people don't talk about enough. And often enough, I think that the content you're engaging with online, those skills are utilized.
100%.
Yeah, I use Adobe Premiere to edit these videos, but when I work with brands, I literally just use my iPhone, and then I use just certain apps because it's very social media engaging.
Yeah, sure.
You know, if I'm working with the brand, a lot of the times, you know, you're negotiating, like a lot of people don't know what white labeling is or whitelisting is. Then you have certain times where you have to negotiate 30, 60, 90, 120 days where you can't post certain other things because it can be addictive. And then you're working with the brand's creative team. The creative team doesn't understand social media. They understand the creativity behind it. And then you speak to the other divisions of the company who want something else, and you're trying to figure out what they want. And then you have to have so much of the logo in there. You have to do this. The can can't be dented. It needs to be open. You need to smile. You need to have this. So it's just so much involved, and you need to submit the photos. And then sometimes they say, oh, change this, change that. And then you need to record again. There's just so much behind it. But the thing is I never talk or promote a brand that I can't stand behind.
For sure, for
It's
sure.
not something I would normally consume. It still needs to be something that I'm willing to share because I know it's a good product for those that may want to use it.
100%.
100%.
But you said something earlier, you know, when I am in front of camera, I do kind of turn a switch. And I would say my energy level goes up a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I'm still authentically me. I fumble my words.
Yes.
It's difficult for me to speak English. I'm not afraid of making myself look like a fool because that's just who I am. I'm a goofball. And I just share it because that's just who I am. I don't want to edit myself because the world is not perfect and social media should not be perfect. However, what is Dayna and Brian Lee like when you're not in front of the camera? I know that you're always authentically yourself, but you can't tell me you're always looking this pretty. You can't tell me you're...
She does. No, she actually does. No, guys, I swear, she actually does.
I put on makeup for this interview. What are we like? I think we are sometimes more kooky off camera.
Yeah, we're definitely.
Which it would be super surprise to everybody.
There's a lot of Celine Dion and cat
like
dancers.
People don't understand what really goes on behind closed doors. Like,
but I think that comes out of like, and not to be sappy, but I think we take each other's happiness very seriously.
Yeah.
And I think it's very important. I think going back to the relationship question, I think why we've worked for so long is her happiness and my happiness is the greatest importance to each other. And what that comes with is neuroses and
we're way more neurotic off camera. Like people, if people think we're chill, that is a misconception.
Zero chill.
Like we obsess about
everything.
What's the silliest thing you obsess about?
What do we obsess about?
What's the silliest thing you obsess about? One thing.
Oh my God.
3.
I think for me, it's interesting. I obsess a lot, specifically. So you talk about authenticity. I get caught up very easily in the appearance of social media. So we create social media, and yet I still find myself getting caught up in what people are posting in that narrative. And I think for me, and in both sides of what we do, both the influencing side, working in theater and working in the arts, it's very, you have to stop. You have to actually remind yourself that you're living in New York. We're very fortunate. We have a platform. We're doing what we love.
Yeah.
And I think I obsess the most about our career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we obsess about our career.
Our career. That's
our career. Like there's so much we want to do. And we're so passionate about the work we want to create. And we're very now people. Yeah. Like we're ready to go. We're chomping at the bit, you know? Patience. We often feel like when we're doing stories and stuff, like our first story is the best story.
Yeah.
Like if we have to reshoot something, it's not authentic. Like that natural off the cuff, like we're just doing it tends to be like the best take. Because if I shoot something again, you could tell it's a little forced.
Yeah.
You know?
Then it's like bad Lifetime movie. It's like a little scripted. And it's like you don't know why it doesn't feel real, but it definitely
But
it
doesn't.
But it's not
but
real.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
You can't have success without failure.
Right. And you're not taking enough chances.
Exactly.
And it's only failure if you allow it to be. But what are daily practices that you do when you feel like, oh, I missed the mark, I messed up? How do you get back up on your feet and keep going?
I think that's the best part about working together.
Yeah.
Like honestly, like having a partner and like pumping each other up and like really like our biggest thing about our whole relationship, if anyone were to ask us, what is the secret sauce to your relationship? I would say it's communication.
100%.
And when those things happen, and they do happen often, and we'd be lying to say that they didn't, we just are very communicative about what happened, what went wrong, what can we do better, and then we strategize.
And then what's the end goal? Because if the end goal is the same, then the road, I mean, everyone thinks life goes like this, but it's actually, it's like this, and then you wind up somewhere, and you hope it's where you assume that you were going, but you don't know. And I think with us, like, if the goal is the same, then the journey, sounds so cheesy, but like, the journey is important, but it's all a bunch of learning steps. And I think having each other as partners, both building a personal life and a work life, the journey is very aligned.
And I would say if you're not working with a partner and you're working in some sort of team, it's like, this would be like my advice to someone who would ask is like, everyone has strengths and weaknesses. Like we work really well together because I have a skill set. I have certain skill sets that Brian doesn't have, and Brian has skill sets
like
that
organization.
I don't have.
Basic organization.
Basic organization Brian doesn't have.
I don't have.
No, but we lean on that, right? Like we play off that. And like sometimes like I'm not always the best person for the job to take lead.
Yeah.
Take lead. Vice versa.
Yeah. I'd love to.
I threw you a bone.
Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah. Dayna's not always the best.
Just catch it.
Fine.
Is there a daily practice that you do other than feeding each other's ego with how much you love each other? Is there a daily practice that you do that helps you wake up in the morning and say, I've got this?
So every single morning we wake up and give ourselves at least an hour, if not 2 hours, to have coffee. And so like, let's say we need to be somewhere by 9 o'clock. We'll wake up at 6 o'clock to have those 2 hours together.
No matter what.
Every day.
Since we started dating.
So how we start our morning is how we set the day. And our biggest thing is like, we want to have coffee. We want to watch the Today Show.
I love Hoda.
We love Hoda.
We love Hoda.
And Savannah.
And Savannah.
And we want to, have a little breakfast and be with the cats and just catch up on emails and have a quiet morning before, we live in New York, right? Like things are so fast before we enter guns blazing into the world.
Yeah.
I really like to work out. I find that an hour a day of some sort of physical activity for myself is really nice. And that's just my own time. We like to go on walks. We're
like puppies. We like to be walked.
We like to be walked.
No, we really do like
There
to.
a leash involved? That's very 50 Shades of Grey.
That's for the next time. Yeah, that's for the. We harness moments whenever we can that are just for us.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing. But starting your day in a very specific way gives us time to check in with ourselves and with each other. So it's not like we sit and do a half an hour meditation. I don't think that we need for us specifically, we don't have the parameters. We just know we have that time every single morning.
I used to be so worried about taking time for myself because I knew there was someone else out there working, getting ahead, and I wasn't.
Right.
Yeah.
And I never feel like I am where I want to be in life, but I never will be exactly where I want to be in life.
Yeah.
So if I decide not to rest until I get to whatever that point is that I want to be, there's going to then be another place I want to be, 100%. And I'm just never going to rest. So I think
there's always someone right behind you. There's always someone right in front of you. And that's it.
Exactly.
It's just.
That's so well said.
And I think what we always talk about is our mantra is just stay in your lane.
Yeah.
There's so many people out there doing versions and things that we respect and we love, and you have moments of jealousy. But at the end of the day, if you stay in your lane and you're consistently in your lane, the definition of those lines will become clear and you'll stand out in your own way. I think that's sort of the overarching way we.
Yes, so I'm inspired by what you just said.
No, but I think that's how we've
It's so true.
I think that's how we've navigated living in New York.
It's the Brian Lee show now.
Yeah.
I love it. No. I just threw you another bone, man.
Oh, my God. I'm so full. Yeah, I am actually. But we have the ring light, so it counteracts.
Yeah, my lighting is horrible. But anyway, mystery question.
Okay.
So everybody that's watching, mystery question. I can ask Dayna and Brian anything and everything, and they don't know what the question is going to be, and they can ask me one question, anything and everything. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
Maybe we'll go first. We have to.
Okay.
What has been the biggest public disaster that you've had to emotionally come back from? Where you just how have you from your lowest, how have you drawn yourself out of that?
Ooh.
We're talking about feelings. I don't know, that popped up.
I had quite a few, so I'm trying to think of one.
Ooh.
The biggest.
I wouldn't say. Can I the biggest hurdle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what I mean. Yeah.
So about 9-ish months ago. So I used to be a much more private person, and I was always afraid of vulnerability. And I decided, without success, without vulnerability, you don't have success. They kind of go hand in hand, in my opinion. So I decided to start putting myself out there, and on social media, I came out. And I had a picture of me and my ex-husband, who's still one of my closest friends, and I love him dearly. And I came out on Food and City and Eat and Be Full.
Yeah.
Right? So maybe about 200,000 followers. And at the time, engagement was very strong. So it got a lot of views. It ended up even on the search, and I'm just oh no. And I got a lot of hate DMs.
Really?
And I probably lost about 10,000 followers, which is fine. Weeding through all that, which is fine.
Screw them.
But it sort of does, even though you're proud of who you are, it does sort of hurt your soul a little bit to think that people can just dislike you for who you choose to love. And it was real just, it reminded me when I was in school. So through elementary school, I never got along with all the kids, and I felt very isolated, and everybody made sure I felt they knew I was different because I learned different. I loved to secretly dance in the bathrooms, and people would walk in and okay. And it somehow reminded me of that moment when I was a kid, just super, and that for me was really upsetting, and I had to learn it. So that for me was a big challenge. Yeah.
You know what? Your bravery and how you put yourself out in the world. It's at the end of the day, if you put your head on the pillow and you wake up loving who you are, that's all that really matters.
So true.
Yeah, it was crazy too, because I'm I got this. I don't care what people. I think everybody cares what others think.
Yes.
Even if they don't respect what others think.
Right.
You know, so I think it's just a matter of us being, you know, confident and just plugging forward.
But good for you. I think we need like even louder voices out there, and your story helps another person. And even like you said at the very beginning, if you impact one person's day, then you've done your job. And that's honestly, that's what it's all about.
Yeah. Thank you. All right.
Yes.
So as you were trying to think of a question, I'm usually very planned and I don't really have one planned. So I want to ask you, you know, I'm going to ask you this. This is really bad. So Dara from Skinny Pig NYC asked this question and she didn't copyright it. So the Face and Time conversation that went up with Rev Ciancio, I asked him the same thing. And now I'm going to ask you because I truly, truly, truly do love this question.
Okay.
And it's not as emotional, so don't worry.
It's okay.
If you could abolish one food trend on social media, what would it be?
Oh, that's a good one.
Thank you, Dara.
That's really good.
Thanks, Dara. Damn.
It is a great question, right?
It's a really good question.
Mine was the donut burger.
Oh yeah.
I give credit to restaurants and places that do it because it works, but I can't do the sweet glazed donuts.
Yeah, I don't.
Wow, that's a really, really good
I
question.
feel like it's on the tip of my tongue what I want to say, and I don't know what it is. Oh, go for it. I'll just say it. Go for it. Say it.
Do I have to say one specific thing, or can I say like a general thing?
Go for it.
As long as we know what it is you're talking about.
Yeah.
You know,
like, there's no cop-outs.
You know those dishes?
Yeah, do it.
That like, no one's gonna eat that much food. It's like the.
Oh yeah.
It's like
the burger covered in mac and cheese.
No, not
for
that
me,
one.
at least. Like it's like not for me.
The ice cream that has 30 scoops of ice cream in one cone. Like, I think it's so cute for social media, but it's like, it's a waste of ice cream because who's gonna have that much ice cream?
It's not practical in the real
It's
world.
not practical. It's not.
But it's great for social media.
Great for social media.
So like, it's those dishes that are great for social media, but like you're throwing out half the dish. You know what I mean? And like that, and then it's just like, and then there's the food waste thing, which like a lot of food influencers get a lot of flack for food waste when it's like, no. We eat a lot of the food, and if not, we're giving it to like friends, family, our doorman, homeless people, whatever. Like we're giving it away, but the foods like that, like they're going in the garbage.
I agree. Influencers that are food focused and restaurants need to stop wasting so much food.
It's a waste.
Yeah.
I always give even if I do, when I create a social media item with a restaurant and it's over the top, we always start with flavor profile, so it'll always taste good. But whatever's left, we either do, we feed the team, or I go to like a food hall and I'm always giving out the food.
Yeah. Like I like the creativity. Like I like the stuffed burgers and the stuffed this. Like I actually think like I like the stuffed pizzas and the stuffed cookies. Like I think that's like really cute.
The stuffed pizza's amazing.
I think that's like cute and clever, and like people love it, and it's like combining like something old with something new, and I think it's like that's really cute. It's just when it's like it's so big, it's so over the top, it's so ostentatious, and it's like no one's.
It's impossible to eat.
It's impossible to consume.
It's actually impossible to consume.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it looks great in a photo.
So I have one quick question. I don't know if you can answer this or not, because I don't know if you can.
Okay. Moulin
Rouge, Broadway.
Yeah. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So Moulin Rouge is one, like I've been there many, many times in Paris. That's a revival, right?
No, it's the premiere. It's based off the film.
It's based off the film. Okay.
It's based off the Bachelor.
Okay. Do you have an estimated date?
So it opened. It opened last July.
Yeah, but it's closed now. So like
it's closed now. And when Broadway.
His question is when will Broadway reopen?
When will Broadway reopen?
That was the worst way to ever ask a question.
No,
that was like horrible.
It's a phenomenal question.
That's the golden ticket question, I think, in our industry right now is when will Broadway reopen? And
that's really funny. As we're filming this, we just got a text message from a playwright being like, when's
what's happening with my
what's
play?
happening with my play? Literally, as you asked that question, that's horrifying.
Do you want to take it?
Yeah, I think it depends based off safety. I think that unfortunately, there's one thing to social distance an audience, but it's also so many people are backstage making it happen.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of room backstage either. I think everybody thinks there's all this space.
Also,
Buildings
you
are
have to
so
think of
old.
like the actors and the dancers on stage. Like they're so close to
And their
each other.
safety, yeah.
So
I think right now, theaters are closed till January. We have our own sort of
We have
guesses.
our own guesses.
We have our own guesses, but I think it's going to be sort of when everything comes back and live performances come back fully, then it will return with that. And I think it'll return incrementally. I don't think it'll be like 40 shows opening at once. I think it'll be the long-running shows, and because I mean they're expensive properties, and I think people don't realize how much goes in because you're running these businesses and it's responsible for so
many
the
people.
livelihood of so many people and so many Same with our industry though. It's like it's not only the restaurants, it's the food PR companies. It's the same on Broadway. It's every sort of the seamstresses, the
family tree
the family
is
tree
large.
is huge.
Yeah. Well, I hope by June.
Me too.
Like I'm thinking June, July.
That's what we're
Realistically,
that's what we're thinking. But it's better that you said it.
It's better.
save me a ticket.
Yes, 100%.
100%.
I'm totally using you guys for it.
Done.
Done.
You have no idea. I'm obsessed. I'm like a little kid. You guys are awesome. I love you.
Oh my
You're
God, let's
amazing.
take a quick picture before this ends. Hold on. Get a good filter.
Get a good filter. It's all about
Listen,
the
in
filter.
the name of social media.
Do epic.
Okay, one second.
Next
I'm
time we do this,
just
I'll-
wiping my camera.
Next time we do this, I'll have a haircut.
Yes. Okay, guys. 1, 2, 3.
Love it.
Yay!
Woohoo!
Thank you, Jared.
Thank you.
So follow Dayna and Brian Lee at arts and food _NYC on Instagram if you love quirky, silly, crazy duets of
Amen.
So thank you for joining Food and City. Do you like that? Thank you for joining Facing Time with Dayna and Brian Lee. My name is Jared Zuckerman. Stay positive.
Yay!
Yay! You guys are awesome. Thank
That
you
was
so much.
great.
Awesome.